The time has finally come. Generation 4 in Pokemon Go. Generation 4 has some awesome Pokemon. That's because of how many ties it has to older generations, which is good and bad for Pokemon Let's Go. It's good in the sense that lots of Pokemon that you've caught in the past, such as Misdreavus, Murkrow, Magnemite, Tangela, and Swinub, Piloswine. I'm ready for Mamoswine already, I don't know about you. All that jazz, we're going to be able to unlock that on day one of those Pokemon's releases. Now, something tells me that they won't roll them all out at once, and that kind of grinds my gears a little bit. Maybe we'll see Drifloon, Drifblim, Spiritomb, and Rotom as soon as this Halloween, but hopefully we'll see some a bit sooner. The bad thing about all of those great Pokemon now being available in Pokemon Go is that there are so many Pokemon that will not be found in the wild due to their relationships with previous Pokemon. So, for example, Weavile, can't find them in the wild. You just have to be lucky if you can find a Sneasel or a Lickitung. And for me, I've only ever seen one Lickitung, so good luck for me getting a Lickilicky. Also, tons of baby Pokemon, so lots of egg exclusives. If you're somebody like me who has one incubator and it takes 2 months to hatch one egg, then you'll be really lucky if you can find yourself a Munchlax or Happiny or Bonsly. Probably at the least we're getting 30 new Pokemon to be found in the wild, which is quite a lot. Not so much for the collectors who will run into them day in after day out, but for people like me who still have a hard time completing the Kanto decks, a little bit more tricky. Now, you want to talk about how I've never been able to get a legendary through a raid because, God forbid, 15 people in my residential area know a Pokemon exists. There are tons of legendaries in this generation, and that is going to be quite the toll on people like me who still have not been able to get a single one. At least 14 new legendary encounters to be had. Not to mention the alternate forms of Shaymin and Giratina, and of course all the alternate forms of Rotom, if they'll ever let those out of the bag. However, aside from Sylveon in Generation 6, Generation 4 was the last generation to introduce any ties to older Pokemon, meaning that when Generation 5 comes, if it ever does, we are going to see a monsoon of unfamiliar mons polluting the landscape of Pokemon Go. Some other things to expect are some brand new powerhouses. So, Rhydon is currently my second strongest Pokemon in Pokemon Go. However, it gains an evolution in this generation, meaning that that can potentially be pushed even further. Also a force to be reckoned with would be Mamoswine, given Piloswine is also capable of that high CP. Let's take a look at my Pokemon Go and see who I will potentially be able to unlock come the launch of Generation 4. So let's scroll through here and see who has the potential to evolve. Alright, so Lickitung, I only have 2, so that's a far cry from Lickilicky. Rhydon, yes, 2564 already! That is a monster! 74 Rhyhorn candy, so I am pretty close to that anticipated 100 that you'll need for Rhyperior. Tangela into Tangrowth, kind of far away from that right now. Electabuzz, only have 8 candy for those, and Magmar, hey, almost there, 73 candy for Magmar. Magmar is my spirit animal because it is the Spitfire Pokemon, and I am Pokemon Rapper. Eevee, I have over 300 candy because of Community Day, so if Ambipom only requires 50, then I am good to go for Apom. Really hoping that's the case. Yanma, same thing, hoping that's a 50 for Yanmega, given it's only Stage 1 evolution. Here is my very special Pokemon, my shiny Murkrow, who happens to have a CP over 1000. For a base Pokemon, that is pretty good. Sneasel looking at 36 candy. Really high CP though, so that'll be ready when I get about 20 more candy. Of course, Piloswine is ready to become that big woolly mammoth I know it wants to be so bad. Just waiting for launch, I have over 100 candy for that one. I'm pretty far from a Gardevoir in the first place, so Gallade's off the table for me right now. By the way, does anybody know how to get more items? Because my team took a beating to a Roselia. Yeah, you heard that right. Nose Pass. Oh, so close. I need about one more Nose Pass to get 50. To get that Probopass. Roselia into Roserade, I've been ready. I have a 1454 Roselia that's just waiting to evolve. I do have a shiny in the woodworks, however, I do like Roselia shiny better than Roserades. Dusclops will probably be a 100 candy, so I am far off for that, but hey, Halloween's coming up soon, who knows? Let me know who you're ready to evolve as soon as Sinnoh hits the little screen on Pokemon Go. Also, I have a musical that tells the entire story of Generation 4's games, Diamond and Pearl, and it also features every Pokemon's name in that generation as a play on words, so veterans from Sinnoh will love it, and newcomers, I think it's a great way for you to get introduced to all the new critters you'll be finding on your phones in the coming weeks and months. So check that out. I'm Matt Foryo, and that's all for Yo today.
Brothers from other mothers taking my professor, he's my predecessor, and I've been on another level like a Padre Peanut on a superstar. Leave for a portion of Jupiter, Mars.